This streak of 68 games that started with a sack before you got here, what do you attribute that to? Is it just the consistency of the pass rush that you guys have maintained?
Yeah, I think it's a multitude of things. I don't think you can put your finger on one specific thing. I think it goes to the guys up front in the pass rush, the guys in the back end able to give just a half a second, a quarter second more to those guys up front. It's blitzing, nickels, dimes, DBs, things along those lines. It's not just the pass rushers up front that you can say has extended that record.
Brooke Pryor?
Yeah, TJ, we know what you guys lose with Bud not on the field as far as stats-wise goes, but for you personally, what do you lose not having Bud around there, both on the field to kind of help you out and also just, Mike Tomlin said before that Bud's the only guy that you talk to during practice, that kind of thing. What will you miss the most not having him around?
I miss Bud already. It's been weird just in the short week here without having him around, and more than anything, just as a friend and as a teammate and off the field stuff. And I think Bud's just an extremely likable guy in this locker room and in this organization. And he's just a very unselfish player, an unselfish person. He's always putting others in front of him. And he's just a guy that it's contagious. He makes you want to be a better person and a better football player. So I can't wait till he's back around in the building.
Ray Fittipaldo?
Hey, TJ, Keith was saying yesterday that Alex doesn't make the same mistake twice. And he said that same thing about you when you were a rookie. Can you tell me about Alex's prep, and does he watch a lot of film? Is he a heady player? What's he been like as a teammate?
Yeah, I think he's always come to work ready to grow and get better, and that's the thing with him. He's always asking the right questions, and I'm not able to see guys prepare this year because we're all socially distanced and watching film from our homes. But I know he's prepared. I feel very confident in his ability to step in. Bud's just such a big impact on our team, and like I said, just not just from a playmaker standpoint, but from a leadership role as well. And I feel like Alex is going to do a great job of that, but I also think we're going to have to lean on Ola too to step up and have some big time playing for us.
Will Graves?
TJ, when DeCastro was talking to us earlier, he mentioned after Bud got hurt that it was tough, that it was an emotional gut punch for you guys. For somebody that's close to him as you are, what's the process of sort of recovering in time to be able to continue to play at the level that you're at?
Very deflating. It's just so much going on. When you hear something like that happen, it's like, holy cow, the season could potentially be over. He's in a contract year. He's such a phenomenal player, a key player for what we do and what makes us who we are as a defense. And then you kind of have to fall back on that's what Devin was to us too. And you kind of have to just know that it's the next man up mentality. You have guys like Alex Highsmith, who's been preparing like he's been the starter this whole time. We have to trust that the coaches are going to put him in the best position, us in the best position to keep going forward. And I have all the confidence in the world in our guys in this locker room that we're going to be all right.
Jenna Harner?
TJ, you mentioned that Alex has been preparing like he's been the starter. What are the conversations like between the two of you this week? Do you say anything extra to him? Is there anything more? Or do you guys kind of just, keep things week to week here?
No, now it's more of a getting to know each other on the field more with me and the whole defensive front and just how we communicate together. He's been getting a handful of snaps a game. And now these snaps are very meaningful, and he's going to be playing a lot more of them. So we're just trying to communicate with him how we like things communicated, how I like just simple things like telling me how the tight end is off line of scrimmage, things like that Bud and I didn't have to necessarily talk about. We just knew what each other liked and how we liked communicating, and things like with Cam Hayward and Tuitt and Tyson, just telling them how they want to run games up front and stuff like that.
All right, we got time for 2 follow-ups. Joe Rudder?
Yeah, TJ, even though you lose Bud, you get Stephon back this week. What will that mean having him back against Washington?
It'll be huge. Tuitt's a phenomenal player in both the run and the pass. He makes the defensive front go, and it's just getting another key player back for us, and I'm excited to play alongside him this week.
And then Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, TJ, I know you guys don't necessarily want to talk about streaks and things like that, but with the sack roll that you guys are on, going on, 68, you've completed 68 games. Mike Tomlin mentioned, hey, he was a part of the group in Tampa that did that as far as coaching. Does he ever bring that up or maybe not compare you guys, but he said that there are similar things as far as great individual rushers that show up on a consistent basis. How much does he use that experience in coaching you guys with that?
I'm not quite sure. We've never really talked in depth about any of that stuff. I think we're just trying to be the best team that we can possibly be, and all that really matters this week is getting the win.
We'll go with Brooke Pryor. Go ahead, Brooke.
Hey, Dave, thanks for doing this morning. When we talked with Randy and Ben and Coach Tomlin the last couple of days, we talked a lot about the red zone and being in rhythm and talking about the challenges of going in and out of that no huddle offense and when to pull out. For you, and as an offensive line, how much is that rhythm affected when you guys are trying to figure out when to go no huddle, when to pull out and slow things down? What works best for you, do you feel like?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. I'm an O-lineman. We don't really care. We don't really have a say. You know what I mean? If we got to pass the ball 100 times a game, we got to do it. If we got to run the ball, we're going to do it. It's really hard. I know you guys want the perfect answer, what the best play is, but, if the run's efficient, it's efficient. If the pass is efficient, we're going to do it. The no huddles work great for us. Ben's talented at that. It's easy for him to do his thing when he's doing the no huddle, and kind of we laugh making fun of him drawing plays up in the dirt. You know what I mean? But it works. So we'll do whatever it takes. We enjoy it. We know when he's doing it. The ball's usually coming out quick, and he does a great job of getting rid of it. And so we're happy doing whatever.
Mike Prizzuta.
Hi, David.
Hey.
There are 5 defensive linemen. Look, have you seen that recently? And what's the challenge dealing with that?
Oh, the five down solid. Yeah, I mean, they're just a tremendous talent across the board. All first rounders, all highly skilled guys. I think it all starts up front with their defense with those guys. We've seen that kind of look, that structure before, but the difference is the personality they bring behind it. They got tremendous players, one of the best, if not best, groups we faced all year. So that's what makes it tough. Not the structure, but the players.
Ray Fittipaldo.
Hey, Dave, are you guys expecting to get pounced back for this game? And if not, what are some of the challenges that, come with a first-year guy playing next year at center?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what pounce in the protocols. I can keep track. I gave up trying to keep track of what's going on, this whole year. It's too much, just trying to figure out when we're going to play the games hard enough. So, hopefully get pounced back as soon as possible. But, JC's done a tremendous job stepping in. He's been ready to go. He takes a lot of notes, always locked in. And that's what you need as a center, a young guy in there. He's the one making all the calls, and he's got to make sure we're on the same page. And he's done a good job. We got confidence in him, and I like the way he carries himself as a professional. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard to replace a guy like Pouncey. I don't need to speak about his resume and what he brings, not just personally, but as a team and as a leader. But it's part of the game. At least 2020 it is. But JC's done a good job, and if he needs to play, I think he'll do a good job again.
Will Graves.
Dave, I'm hoping for one of those Stanford guy perfect answers here. If you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. Look, you guys win games, and everybody after the game on at least Mike T and Ben and Juju, they were TJ, they were mad. Mike T always says we got to do whatever we got to do to get out of the stadium with a win. But yet how much of that is the anger is geared towards not necessarily performance on that day, but knowing how much better you might have to play to get where you need to go?
Yeah, I think last week the biggest thing was losing Bud. I think that was the most deflating thing we had in that whole game. The game itself was, you kind of feel it going into the week. You change the game, you change the time, and there's all this leading up to it, and they push it back again, and then the no fans thing too sucks. I mean, it felt dead out there a little bit. Playing on a Wednesday night, no fans. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I think when there were no fans, it was it was a whole new atmosphere. Like, okay, we can get through this. And you still had that rush of the early season. And now it's like you're in December with no fans. You're like, what are we doing out here a little bit? And, I don't like to make excuses because you're professionals and stuff, but we're still humans. We have emotions, and not having the fans there is just like, it's tough. And I think, with them having guys out too, there's a human nature component where play up and down to your level of play, and not to disrespect them. They still got good guys, and they showed it. They played us well. We didn't play great, so there'll be a big test this game. We got a really good group that's vying for. I think they're a lot better than the record is. That's for sure. So that'll be a good test for us, and hopefully, don't move the game, and hopefully we can, show up a little better.
Christopher Carter.
David, you talked about how you were impressed by the Washington's personnel up front. They're a very even spread bunch when you look at where the sacks come from. How do you guys prepare for that? Where, since it's not one guy or two guys that you're looking for, they have several different guys that force you to account for different options.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes them great. You can't really double team on certain guy. They're great across the board. So I mean, it goes on to everybody. Everybody's got to win their one-on-ones when they're called upon. And like I said, team effort. Ben getting rid of the ball, receivers catching balls, and just being efficient. Whether running, passing, it doesn't matter. But they're studs up front. That's for sure. So we're gonna have our hands full.
Jim Wexel.
All right, David, I'm going to be the injury guy today.
Okay.
Your knee, how much has it affected you? And added with the COVID, it seems like a pretty sucky kind of year for you if your knee is bothering you, but you're 11-0. So could you talk about that, please?
Oh yeah, me personally, it was tough the first couple of games. Always, when you're coming back off an injury, those first couple of games back is tough getting back into the rhythm a little bit, and having that knee brace on. But after the first couple of games, I felt pretty good, all things considered. And yeah, I don't know. The record this year just kind of feels weird. This whole COVID year. I know we're 11-0, but I just think things in this day and age, you don't really look too far ahead or behind. You're just kind of stuck in the moment. And that's kind of what it feels like this year. And then maybe they shut the season off tomorrow, and it's just like that's a real possibility nowadays. So you're just enjoying day-to-day life, whether it's football, personal life. That's how I look at it. Now the record is what it is, and we know too as an older guy, regardless of COVID or not, that it's all matters when you're peaking and staying healthy. So that's why I said it was tough to lose Bud, a guy like Bud, and you hate to see the injuries. But this is the time where you've got to make sure you're peaking and getting better. You can't be flattening out or going down.
Jenna Harner.
You mentioned that this Washington team is a lot better than their record shows, and that's something that we've heard from a lot of you guys kind of this past week. What do they do that makes them, such an intense matchup, I guess, for lack of better words, but at the same time, obviously knowing that their record is what their record is? Yeah,
I'm just so confused why the record is what it is. Watching them play defense on that side of the ball, at least that's why I look at it. And they play really hard. They're really, really aggressive, energetic, and I know it's gonna be tough. Yeah, that's what I said. The records, especially this time of year, and especially with them, and they're still first place in their division, so they're battling for a lot, and that's all that matters this time of year. So we know we're gonna have our hands full.
Chris Adamski.
Dave, most offensive linemen we'll talk about, and I think you have talked about how run blocking is more fun or better than pass blocking. First off, do you agree with the assessment that you guys have been elite pass blocking? I mean, the sacks aren't there at all, and maybe, I don't know, below the line run blocking this season. And so how do you reconcile those things? You guys sort of embracing now the pass blocking more?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the ball's coming up quick when Ben gets in his mode, and he's just finding guys, picking up power. We got great talent on the edge and young receivers. And, we don't really care what it takes. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can't force the run if it's not there. If there's safeties in the boxes, you got to pass the ball. So, yeah, like I said, whatever it takes. I'm an old lineman. I don't really care. You guys will say run game. I'm like, I don't. Whatever it takes. It's not my job to drop the plays or script it or listen to Ben and Randy and go from there.